Okay, this is second part of how to sell sets. So some tips, you might want to take notes. Some tips for selling sets and making sure that you get a set every one. You should have watched the context video already on why a set is good. So this is more of content and how to do it. So a couple things. So first thing you want to put down in your notes is you want to say the word set a minimum 30 times during your demo, okay? Every single time you should be saying the word set, all right? As you walk in the door, you should be saying the word set. Ms. Jones, it's a great television set. What a great living room set. What a good dining room set. What a great set of kids. They have 2 birds. It's a great set of birds. Did you buy them together? Okay, so everything is a set, all right? So Mrs. Jones, have a set, a seat, all right? So, so everything is a set, all right? You start talking in terms of sets. Now, when you do your demo, you can also say the word set a ton, all right? Every time, you should constantly just think, every time I'm going to say the word Cutco, I need to say set of Cutco, all right? So the first set of Cutco was made in 1949. Over 15 million people have bought a set of Cutco. The first set of Cutco was, every set of Cutco was made up in Olean, New York. All the sets are made in America, all right? Some people have a set of knives that look like this, okay? Some sets have wood, some sets have plastic, some sets have carbon steel, some have serrated edges, some have straight edges, some sets, okay? Let me show you all the features of the products that come in your set, okay? By the way, another thing, not just for selling sets, but in selling in general, is you want to give them possession of the products, okay? So it's not the next tool in the set, it's the next tool in your set, Mrs. Jones, okay? So they already feel it's yours. The same thing with handing them knives. Like, let them play with the knives. Keep putting it in their hand. Keep picking it up and handing it to them. They tend to put it down, especially on this page. They'll put it down a lot. So like if they put it down, I go, like you say, oh, Miss Jones, how's that feel in your hand? They feel really good. And then they put it down, and then I pick it up again. I go, so Miss Jones, this is made out of thermoresin. Thermoresin is extremely expensive. It's used in bowling balls, football helmets, and all that kind of stuff. Here, feel it again, okay? And they feel it, and they go, oh, and go, yeah. And then they put it down again. And I go, now, Miss Jones, this has 3 this has 3 nickel silver rivets, and it's perfectly balanced. Watch this. Here, put it in your hand. How's it weight? Okay, and I keep putting it in their hand, and finally they stop putting it down, okay, because they're like, all right, I'm going to hold this, all right, and then you just let them hold it. The more they touch Cutco, the more they use Cutco, the more they feel Cutco, the more emotional attachment they have to it. So, so it's always your knives, your tools, your set. Okay. So anyway, set. All right. Here's the guarantee that covers your set. All right. So, and then so the first tool in your set, the second tool in your set, the third tool in your set, the next tool in your set. All right. So, all the sets come with table knives. All right. So, Mrs. Jones, would you put your set on the counter or in the drawer? All right. Something I learned from John Berghoff is, Mr. Jones, all your sets come with table knives, so you can either put the table knives in the woodblock or you can put the table knives in the drawer separately, and you can just have the cooking knives on the woodblock. So there is no set without table knives, all right? So why would you not get table knives? All right, so one is the table knives are in the drawer, and one table knives are on the countertop. So, Ms. Jones, would you put your set? Do you like the set in the wood blocks or the trays? All right, we'll talk about that later. All right, so here's your set of kitchen tools. It's a set of scissors, even though it's one. Okay, that's why I was got a pair of pans. Even though it's one pan. All right, so point being is say the word set a lot. By the way, the more you say set, the more they think in terms of set, all right? And so it's just very simple. If you keep talking about tools and pieces, then they're going to want to buy tools and pieces, all right? All right, so next thing to help you sell sets. Again, this is all these tips I'm going to give you have nothing to do with arguing with the customer when you're done, all right? Most reps want what do I say when they say this? Or how do I handle this situation? And it's not how do you handle it after it happens. When you become good at communication skills and you become good, you handle things before they come up, all right? If I was playing chess, I don't try to figure out what should I do after I'm trapped, okay? I go, well, how can I stop myself from falling into that trap, okay? How can I stop myself from having these issues and problems? So you should never be looking that's why as managers we spend 90% of our time teaching you how to handle questions before you get them. I never have a customer when I got good at this say it's too expensive or I have to ask my husband or any of these things, because I would totally could destroy them in the presentation, so therefore there was no point in them saying them at the end of the presentation, all right? But that's neither here nor there. Let's stick with sets. So the guarantee page. So you do your guarantee page as normal. when you get to the end, all right, so when you get to the end of the guarantee page, I say this, I go, Mrs. Jones, so before I show you the set, and by the way, when you turn this page, just so you understand, when you turn this page here, all right, customers think two things. They either go, oh, this is the set that I get to pick, that they've been talking about the entire time, or they say, oh, here's a bunch of pieces I get to pick from, all right? So you want the customers going, oh, this is the set, all right? Now, I'm going to give you a slight tip in a second, a little tricky trick there, all right? But I'll do it in a minute. So before you turn the page, though, I would do the guarantee, all right? Do a killer guarantee, handle the 15-day trial period. The 15-day trial period, people want to think about it, watch the advanced training notes on how to really handle the trial period, all right? And then the last thing I would say on this page is I would say, no, Mrs. Jones, so I don't waste a lot of your time, because we have a lot of different sets to pick from. I just have to ask you 3 questions so I can kind of figure out which the best set to show you. My first question is, do you cook because you have to cook, or do you cook because you like to cook? Okay, so that's the first question, all right? The second question, I go, okay, Ms. Jones, what's more important to you in your kitchen? Saving time or saving money? They usually say both. Okay, but I say, well, which is more important? All right, saving time or saving money? All right, and then the last question is, you know, the last thing, Ms. Jones, when you have like dinner or you have people, what's the most amount of people that you would have sitting around your kitchen table? Like if you have people over, like do you have like Thanksgiving dinner here or stuff like that, or what's like the most amount of people you usually have at your house eating dinner? Okay, so what do these 3 questions allow you to do? Number one, it allows you, number one, to tailor the next part of your demo to people who like to cook or have to cook, all right? If they have to cook, if it's just that, then you want to talk about how these are very practical types of things. If you want to talk about they like to cook, well, liking to cook might now lead me to know if they're an ultimate set person or a signature set person, or if they're just a basic a homemaker person. Okay, so let's say they said, oh, I just cook because I have to because we have kids, I hate cooking. Then I'll say, okay, well, we have 3 main sets. We have our complete set, we have our signature set, our medium set, and then we have our basic set. You know what, based upon the fact that you said you just cook because you have to, I'm just going to go with the basic set. Is that okay for me to show you that one? Okay, and they're like, oh, good. And you go, great, let me show you our homemaker set. This is our basic set. So now they're not looking at this set as like the big set. This is just the basic set. Okay, so that's something there. The second question is, do you cook what, saving time or saving money? So when you're doing your demo, you should, if they say saving time in my kitchen is really important to me, then you should be telling them how this helps you save time. You know, Ms. Jones, a chef knife saves you a lot of time because you don't have to use the food processor. Have you ever used a food processor before, Ms. Jones? You put all the food in there, and every time you gotta clean the whole thing out, it's 800 moving parts, and you got to scrub all the little things out. It's really annoying. This saves you a ton of time. Okay, plus it saves you time over using just a paring knife, because when you use a little paring knife, you cut a carrot. This you take like 16 of them and chop much faster. Okay, it saves you a lot of time. The spatula spreader saves you so much time, Mr. Jones, because you can just you scoop out the peanut butter, you scoop out the jelly, you cut the sandwich all one tool. So you don't have to wash like or if you make like tuna fish sandwiches, you don't need a fork and a spoon and a knife to cut it. You just use the spatula spreader. So it's going to save you a lot of time. Right? So I'm using words that are hot words for the customer. So that's what I'm doing. Now, if they say save money, okay, well then I'm going to talk about how it saves them money. I'm going to talk about how you need a slicer, Mrs. Jones, because when you get boneless meats, when you buy like a ham, if you make cold cuts, when you make cold cut sandwiches for your kids for lunch, okay, it saves you a lot of money if you buy a block of cheese and a block of ham and a block of bologna, because when they slice it up at the deli, they charge you money for that. Okay, so you can you have this knife, this goes through boneless meats really easy, and it saves you a ton of money. Okay, the butcher knife is going to save you so much money on, and that example's right in your training manual on how much money you're going to save cutting up chicken. Okay, and so all the things you want to be talking about, how am I going to save them money? So that's the important thing there, and then the table knives allow you to figure out how many table knives they need. Okay, so if they say we have 8 people, then I tell them you're going to need 16 table knives. Okay, you should have 2 for each person. All right, because you're not going to be washing all the time or something along those lines. All right, so and some of them be in the sink and all that kind of jazz. All right, so that helps you there. Now, let me teach you what you do from now on. So after you ask the 3 questions, so on this guarantee page, you say, so Mrs. Jones, do you cook because you have to cook or because you like to cook? Because we have to cook. What's more important to you in your kitchen? Saving time and getting out of the kitchen as fast as possible, or saving money on foods and stuff like that? Oh, saving money. Okay. And how many people? What's the most amount of people you have sitting around your dinner table? Like even if like for like a Christmas or Thanksgiving, do you do it here? Or do you do it someplace else? Oh, we do it at Grandma's house. Okay. So what's the most amount of people you have just sitting around your table on a general basis? Oh, it's 4, just us and the 2 kids. Okay, great, Mrs. Jones. Well, based upon what you're telling me, I would probably say, based upon that, is that a basic set would be better for you. Like we have a complete set, which is for people who really like to cook and entertain a lot. We have a signature set, which is a little bit less pricey on that. It's like a middle set, but it sounds like you're looking for like a basic type of set, right? So so we have 2 basic sets. Well, we have the basic set comes. Excuse me, not 2 basic sets. We have a basic set comes in a couple of different storage options. It comes in the wood blocks and it comes in the trays. Okay. If you've seen what I've done, by the way, they didn't see this page yet. All right. So I actually skipped 2 pages. All right. So I figured out the set and I say, here's your basic set. All right. And I talk about the wood blocks and the storage options first, and I get them excited about the storage options, which I'm going to talk about in a second as well. All right. So we have them in the wood blocks. We have them in a tray. Would you put your knives in the drawer, or would you like to put them out and display them? Most people like to display them because they really do look sweet. Well, which do you like? Oh, I would display them. All right. Now, would you, for your wood block, would you get a lighter kind of wood block like this, like the honey wood block, or would you get like a darker cherry wood block? Oh, darker cherry is nice. Okay. And all our knives come in the brown and the white. I have both colors I can show you, but which do you think you would like better, the brown or the white? Oh, I like the white. Great. Okay. So as I said, this is the basic set. So let me show you what comes in the set. All right. So now, how are they looking at these pages? As a what? You can talk. After I've talked about set, now and I open this.
Set.
Yeah, this is the set. Okay, this is the set that they've been talking about for 6 hours, or that they just asked me all these questions about. Not, oh, these are a bunch of tools. Okay, so they see how the set is set up and all that kind of stuff. So what you're going to do is you just change it around a little bit. Instead of going from here to here, you go from here to here. You just flip 2 pages. It's not a big deal. Customers don't even notice half the time. All right, so you just flip 2 pages, talk about the wood blocks, and then you flip back. Let me